our toddler started preschool this past year, brought back home so many germs, and I got sick so many times. And each time I would get to coughing and wheezing, and then I'd take this medicine. The medicine would help me feel better after a few weeks. This morning, I saw a doctor. This doctor had first prescribed me this medicine over a year ago. And I told the doctor about all this sickness. The doctor asked me, when are you taking the medicine? When do you start it? So I said, I start the medicine after I've started coughing and wheezing. So the doctor said, okay, from now on, as soon as you feel a tickle in your throat, I want you to start the medicine. It'll prevent the coughing and wheezing from even happening. So, just like super grateful to this doctor for that advice, which I'm definitely going to follow. And sitting there, I got curious about why was I waiting to take the medicine until after the coughing and wheezing started. And I realized that I had these two assumptions or ways of thinking that were holding me back from taking care of myself when I was getting sick. The first assumption was just I should tough it out. That no matter how sick I am, I should just man up, power through, Spartacus my way through. And I feel part of that is also just a feeling like I don't deserve medicine, which is dumb, but there it is. And then the second assumption was just a wishful thinking assumption. And the wish was oh, this time I'll get better on my own. Or a wish also oh, maybe this time I won't get the coughing and wheezing, because it was hard to accept that I'm now in a stage of my life where I get these asthma symptoms when I get sick, because I haven't had those symptoms in decades. So here's the connection to dog training and to dogs. So I realized afterwards that I sometimes have made that same assumption about Trixie. With her separation anxiety training for months and months, I was doing it myself. I wasn't working with a qualified trainer, and Trixie wasn't getting worse, but she also wasn't getting better. It was still the case that we could only leave her alone for very short amounts of time, with her still feeling okay. And I feel I was making those same assumptions. I was, assuming that we should, as a family, tough it out. That even though it really sucked, that it sucked for Trixie and for the humans that we couldn't leave her alone for very long. We should just suck it up and deal with it. And I feel there was also a wishful thinking, that I wish that I would make progress on my own. That I wish that I didn't actually need help. But it turned out that when I sort of accepted that oh, this situation really sucks and we need help, and reached out to a certified separation anxiety trainer, this made a world of difference. Working with a qualified pro, we made lots of progress. Trixie's doing great with the separation anxiety. So I'm sharing these personal stories as a way of inviting you to give yourself permission that if things are feeling hard with your dog, if your dog is having a hard time, that you deserve support from a qualified trainer. I would invite you, don't feel like you have to wait until you're really, really struggling. It will be easier. You'll make faster progress, especially on something related to fear. If you start when the problem is really small, or before there even is a problem. And if you have found yourself that you have waited until you're really, really struggling, I also invite you to give yourself some kindness about that too. You still deserve help now.